What's going on, guys? I got a really special video for everybody watching. This is Stefano from Northern Snow. I'm gonna take you through how to change your PTO pin, your blower pin, and also how to unclog your blower when you're out in the field operating. Stay tuned, guys. What the hell happened? Looks like we must have blew the pin. Let's take a look. Seems like we hit something. First thing you're gonna do, always grab your gloves. So I noticed right away, I was blowing snow, everything was okay. Then suddenly I heard a little bang and I stopped blowing snow. That means one thing, I probably hit something and I blew my pin. So first place you're always gonna look, guys, you're gonna look right back here. This is called your PTO shaft right here. And if you look closely, I'm gonna turn it around. Now remember, guys, always make sure your machine's turned off or else you will not be able to move this shaft freely like I am right now. So this is the first place you're always gonna look when your blower stops blowing snow. Like I said, it means more than likely that you've hit something, whether it be a brick, stump, piece of tree, branch, whatever it could be. Anything that gets lodged up into the auger will result in blowing a pin. So as we can see here, you can see that this pin is still intact, okay? When this pin blows, that means you really hit something good, and I'll show you guys how to change that one as well. So you can tell right now, the pin's in, it's all tightened, both shafts align. But like I said, when you hit something good, like a concrete block or something, you will blow this pin, as well as the second place you're always gonna look is right here. So this is your blower pin. You got your latch right here. Open your latch for your door. Open it up. Ta-da! As you can see, we blew a pin. So you see how I could turn the auger freely, like so, right? And you can see the broken pin right here that blew from clearly hitting something. So what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna check our hole on the right side and look for a hole on the left side. And what we gotta do is we gotta line these holes up. That's why it's important to have gloves. With all this grease and how cold the steel is, you always wanna make sure you have a set of gloves. So right now I got my hole on the left side and my hole on the right side, and I have them lined up. So let me go grab my pin out of the toolbox. Follow me. Come to the toolbox over here. Now there's two pins you're always gonna have in your toolbox. You're gonna have your blower pin, which is the smaller pin like this, okay? And then you're gonna have your bigger pin for the PTO. Now you can see the size difference, guys. You got your blower pin here and your PTO pin here. Now remember, guys, your PTO pin is always going to be larger than your blower pin. This one's missing a nut. I'm gonna grab a nut for it real quick. And there you guys have it. Blower pin, PTO pin. You can see the size difference there. Put that in my pocket. Now I'm gonna grab a hammer just in case. I'm gonna grab my adjustable and then my wrench. Put my gloves back on so I don't cause a mess. Now, first things first, guys, sometimes this can happen in your blower, and I'm pretty happy it did, so I could show you an example here. So what will happen is sometimes the drive shaft here will kind of separate like that. You're gonna wanna hammer it back into place with your hammer so that it's nice and flush. You see how I just did that there? Now it is all nice and flush. So now we're gonna double check our holes are all lined up. Okay, looks good to me. I'm gonna grab my pin. There's my PTO pin. Unscrew my nut. Keep that in my hand. This is where you might have to use your fingers just so you have a little bit better grip. Slide it through, make sure it lines up. Okay, you see? I could see the old pin that just popped out the back there. You wanna grab your hammer, give it a little tap. And you can see, look at that old pin coming out. Pin with a little bit of mix of grease. Now we're gonna grab our nut right here. Okay, this is where you might need to use your hands, right? And that's okay. You just don't wanna be using your bare hands for the whole job. Get it nice and screwed on there. Very straightforward. Okay, as soon as you feel it's getting tight, it's time to grab your tools. So I'm gonna grab my adjustable, tighten it up like so. I'm gonna grab my wrench. You're gonna tighten your blower pin like so. Like I said, guys, I said this 3 times now, make sure you got a good set of gloves or else this will be painful. Okay, there you guys have it. That is how you install your blower pin, just like so. and replace it with your old broken one. So step one's out of the way. Like I said, you get out of the machine, grab your gloves. First place you check always is your PTO pin. Mine didn't break in this case, so we don't have to replace it. Number two, we come and check our blower pin right here. We seen that it was blown, we replace it. Step number three, now we gotta look in the snow pile that I have here because clearly I hit something. That's what caused the blower to stop blowing snow, is because I clearly hit something and I blew a pin. So we're gonna go check that now. Next, close it all up, put your tools away. Now I'm gonna hop in the machine, I'm gonna lift the blower up, I'm gonna drive a little bit forward. I'm gonna see possibly what may be caught in the auger or what might be in that snow pile that I hit to cause the blower pin to break. Okay, what do we got here? Now you can see there's a wood chunk there. That definitely caused the auger to lock up and blow our pin. Let's check if there's anything else. Sometimes, guys, this will happen and you'll have a big pile of snow like I just had right there, and you don't want to leave it. You obviously need to get it clean, but sometimes there might be a chunk of concrete, a brick, a big chunk of wood like this, some sort of stone, and you kind of need to shuffle through your pile of snow and make sure you remove that piece of concrete or whatever the object must be, throw it out, and then you can blow your snow pile. So to me, everything looks good. I don't think there's anything else in this pile, and we should be okay to reverse our blower and clean our mess. So always make sure you're doing that, guys. A lot of people have called us out in the field and called into the manager and said, hey, like, I don't know what happens. I keep going to blow the same pile of snow and I keep blowing a pin. Well, use your head and check the snow pile. It's obviously something in the snow that keeps hitting your auger to cause the blower pin from breaking, right? So always make sure you check your snow pile like I just did. We found the culprit. Here it is. Throw it away and go back to blowing snow. So another thing that's really important, guys, is I just did there. So you can see I lifted my blower up right after I changed my pin and I checked my pile of snow, turned on my PTO, and I cleared everything out of the blower before pursuing. And as you can see, look what came out of it. We got another big chunk of wood here and right here. Okay, so in some instances, if you really have some sort of object really clogged up in your blower or in your fan, your tractor will not fire up at all. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna turn your PTO on, and either you're gonna snap all the pins and you're gonna have to replace them again because you got something lodged in there, or what's gonna happen is you're gonna turn your PTO on and you're gonna hear the tractor go like this, and it's gonna completely stall out on you. That means that your PTO is being restricted from moving because there's clearly something lodged inside your blower. Okay, so always keep this in mind, guys. You could tell when I went to go clean mine out, I got lucky and it spit out the blower. When most instances, you don't get lucky like that. This will stay inside the blower. You'll break your pins again. You'll have to go change them and then find where your culprit is inside the blower by opening your fan or checking underneath. So there's another step for you guys to know. We'll move that all out of the way. Now we are going to show you guys how to replace the PTO pin. So let me put the blower down. So I'm gonna show you guys how to change your PTO pin now, right? So I was blowing snow, my tractor stopped blowing snow again. So what the hell must it be? Like I said, it's step 1, 2, and 3. First step is you always get to the tractor and you check your PTO shaft. Step 2, you check your shear pin in your blower to see if you blew that one as well. Then step 3 is you make sure there's no objects inside your auger or inside the fan that may be causing the tractor to blow pins. So I'm gonna show you guys how to fix this pin real quick on your PTO shaft. You're gonna head over to your toolbox, make sure you got your set of gloves like I said, guys. You're gonna grab your pin. I got one in my pocket, but you're gonna grab your bigger PTO pin, looks like that, right? Might have to come back for the hammer, but we'll leave it for now. I'm gonna come back around, okay? Make sure, put your pin there for a second. Remember I told you guys, make sure you got those gloves on and make sure that tractor's turned off. So when your tractor's turned off, you're gonna be able to move the shaft freely, you see? Always make sure your blower's on the ground too. You don't want this thing to, you know, fall right on your leg or your foot. As you can see, I'm on my knees right now. So make sure your blower's turned off and you can move the PTO shaft like so. So you can see that there's these two shaft faces here, right near the U-joint, and then the drive shaft for the blower. You gotta make sure that these two plates, these shaft faces, align perfectly like that so that your holes align for your PTO pin to slide through. So I'm gonna line it up make sure it's all nice and square like that. Grab my PTO pin, unscrew it. You're gonna wanna go in. Okay, it's a little bit of a tight squeeze, guys, so make sure you're coming in from an angle. Slide your PTO pin like so through the hole. Grab your nut. This is when you're gonna have to do it by hand so that you can screw it on. Screw it on like so until it's finger tight. And now what I'm gonna do is gonna grab my adjustable, my wrench, and you're gonna tighten your PTO pin like so. There you guys have it. That is how you replace your PTO pin. Just like that, guys. So step one's out of the way. Step two, I'm gonna check the shear pin for my blower. Open up the hatch. We're gonna come check the pin in here. What can I see? Okay, it looks like this pin hasn't blown. You guys could see on the underneath, it's still intact. So you could tell how I moved the drive shaft in here. It's moving the PTO shaft. That means everything's connected nicely. And you can see the pin clear as day right in here. So you know this one's not blown. So that's how you replace both your pins on your blower and your PTO shaft. Then like I said, guys, make sure you lift your blower up, start it up, make sure you clear everything out of the auger and the chute. And if everything is kosher, that means you are ready to blow snow. Make sure you go to your snow pile, kick it around, make sure there's no objects in there, throw the objects out of the way if you do find one in there. And then the next video I'm gonna show you guys is how to unclog your blower, okay? So we're gonna get this puppy nice and clogged up, and I'm gonna show you how to unclog your blower out on the road so that you don't have to keep calling dispatch. Holy we clogged her good this time. So guys, as you can tell, we clearly clogged the blower. It was intentionally, but you're gonna do this by accident out in the field. And I'm gonna show you how to unclog it. So first things first, as you can tell, my whole machine shut right off. I clogged it so bad. So I'm gonna turn my machine back on. I'm gonna realign my chute straight. First thing you're gonna wanna do when you know you clogged your blower is put that chute straight up in the air just like so. You're gonna wanna lift up your blower, drive a little bit back from your snow pile, put it back on the ground, turn the blower off, and now you gotta grab your pick. So we call this the ice pick, the persuader, if you will. This is gonna be your best friend for unclogging this blower. So first things first, before I even open the fan door, I'm gonna start at the chute. As you guys can see, look how clogged up it is. Jam it in there a bit, fight with it. Now I'll tell you guys, you're not gonna want the mistake of clogging your blower, because when it's minus 20 outside or minus 30 and you gotta unclog your blower, you're not gonna be too happy. So always make sure that you got your gloves, because if you don't got gloves, you're gonna be screwed. Push some of that snow down. See if we could punch a hole through the throat. I can feel that I'm getting through a bit. Now you gotta remember, guys, this is a blower with a throat. So this is a huge opening and it's a hole down to your fan. So we're gonna open the fan up, take your wing nuts off. Always make sure you don't lose your goddamn wing nuts, put them in your pocket. As you can tell, this one's missing 2 of them. And that's because guys get lazy and they put them in the wrong spot. I was having a hard time taking that wing nut out. I wanna let you know, guys, that there's a tool on the side here. You can see, I just took it out. Make sure you don't lose your cotter pin. And you can see there's a slit in it, like so, for the wing nuts. There we go. So after fighting with that bitch, this was my best friend. Make sure you don't lose that wing nut, put it in your pocket. I'm gonna put my tool back before I lose it. Put it in like so, lock it in there, grab your pin. There's a hole up here, put it through the hole. So now we got all the wing nuts off. We're gonna open the big old, oh guys, she's packed. Wow. So I'm telling you right now, you are not gonna want to clog your blower for this reason right here. Dealing with this is gonna make you more pissed off than you could ever believe, and it's gonna make the job of operating a living hell. So, and I'll tell you guys how I clogged after as well. But first, let's get this blower unclogged. Step 1, you wanna take your door off. Makes things a little easier. Put your door right there, and let's start digging my way to heaven. Imagine doing this with bare hands. If you don't got gloves, you are toast. So you're gonna wanna dig all this out until you can start seeing your drum. Clean it all, just like so. Take all this from the top. Got some chunks of wood in there, a little bit of snow, a little bit of everything. So that's pretty well cleaned right there. That's not too bad. You should be able to get away. I'm gonna clean a little bit more. Don't get too lazy on this part, guys, but this should do the trick. So as long as most of your fan is visible, you can see a little bit of the bottom and the top 3 propellers. That's pretty decent enough. Now you're gonna wanna go back to your hole right here in your chute. Make sure you punch through all this clogged snow. You'll see it come down below through here. Check it out. Okay, you're gonna wanna clean this all out. Make sure you don't go half the way. Don't do half the job. Make sure it's nice and clean. Okay guys, come take a look here. You can see the nice opening down the chute there. A little bit of more snow I could clean up on the sides, but definitely not much. You got a nice clear hole through your chute and you should be good to clear it out now. I'm gonna shave a little bit more along the sides, but if you take a good look down there, that is how it should look before you restart your blower to clear out the fan and clean out the chute so you can stay unclogged. So next thing, I'm gonna put my shovel down, I'm gonna grab my fan door, put it here, put it down, make sure you know where your belongings are. So all I'm gonna do is lift up the blower, put my tractor full throttle, it needs to be full throttle, and I'm gonna engage my PTO to clear out the fan. Check it out. RPM's up, guys, blower up. So you can see what I did there. Cleaned out the fan, nice. Made sure I lift my blower up, throw my RPMs to max. And in some instances, this does happen a lot where the fan is nice and cleaned out, but it looks like we may have clogged the throat up again. So I'm gonna take a look, and matter of fact, we did. So guys, right away, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put my blower back down so that we're nice and safe. Last thing you want is that damn thing to fall on your foot, because if it does, well, you probably ain't gonna have a foot no more. We cleaned out the fan, nice, but it looks like the throat got clogged again. And this is very likely that it could happen to you. So we're gonna clean it out again. Okay, take a look in there. Now, chute's been cleaned for a second time. As you can tell, everything looks good there. Now, I'm gonna repeat the same steps. Put your shovel down, know where your door is. So, what we're gonna do is turn the tractor on first, raise the RPMs, lift up the blower, and then you're gonna wanna turn on the blower and clean out that chute. Turn down the RPMs, turn your PTO off, put your blower down, turn off the machine, grab your gloves, and now it's time to put the fan door back on, put your shovel away, and clean up this fucking mess that you caused. So what's gonna happen here too, something good to know, is if it's not all nice and clean right here, you're gonna have a hard time putting this door back on. So make sure it's all nice and clean, right at the crevices, like so. Line up your fan door into the slots. Make sure it's nice and clean, guys, or you're gonna have a hell of a time closing that door. See, nice and easy. You're gonna grab your wing nuts out of your pocket. Like I said, imagine if you would have put these on the ground or something. They would have been lost by now, that's for damn sure. Now it's important to make sure that your door aligns, guys, because you're gonna want this wing nut to go through seamlessly into its hole. So having a little bit of trouble already. There we go. Gotta make sure that door is lined up perfectly. Find our first opening for the wing nut. Screw it in like so. This one's a little bit stripped. It's been giving us a problem. Might need to grab the tool, use a little muscle. So that one's giving us a little bit of a hard time. I'll grab the second one and then I'll tighten it up with the tool right after. Second one went right here. Now, typically these Pronovo Cyclones have 4 wing nuts. One here, one here, one here, and one here. 4 total. So this one only has 2, which is completely fine. That one's nice and tight. See if I can move this one. Oh, this one's being a little bit better with me. Okay, so that one's nice and tight. So that's how you guys do it right there. Fan door's on. Now I'm gonna grab my ice pick. I'm gonna put it back where it came from. Don't lose these guys. They're very expensive. So there's a little hole they go through. Little slot for them right down there. Make sure it slides through the back. Loop it through this hole right here. And there you guys have it, nice and secured. Show them the other side, Andreas. There's the second hole that you wanna slide your ice pick through. And then here's the first hole right over here. You're gonna wanna put it through the tongue of the shovel. And then there you guys have it. Now for step 3, I'm gonna hop in the machine and clean up this mess and show you guys how the blower has now been nicely unclogged and I can now clean my mess that I've made. Now guys, to finish off the video, I'm gonna explain to you why your blower will clog in certain instances like it did for me. So what's gonna happen is if you're either dragging snow from between two houses and you're dragging it all the way to the front of a property and then you decide to turn your PTO on while accelerating at the same time, well, what's happening is the engine's working really hard for you to accelerate forward with that load of snow in the barrel of the blower. And at the same time, you're turning on the PTO that powers the blower to be able to shoot the snow at the same time of you accelerating forward. So the machine doesn't have that much power to be able to do both at the same time. So what you're gonna wanna do is make sure that before you start your blower, you come to a complete stop. If you have a big pile of snow in the back of the blower here, you wanna come to a complete stop, turn your PTO on, slowly let the snow from the barrel pull out, and then slowly start accelerating forward. In some instances, when you have a really, really big load of snow, what you're gonna wanna do is drag all your snow to the end of the road, or if you're on the road blowing it into the bank, if you have a big pile of snow in behind the wheels of your tires right here that you can see in your blower, you're gonna wanna back up a little bit. You're gonna wanna turn off your PTO and progressively move slowly into the pile of snow that you brought out. So that is how you blow snow efficiently without clogging up your fan and clogging up your chute. If you decide to just rip your tractor at full throttle with a huge barrel of snow and then turn your PTO on, I promise you that you are gonna clog. And I showed you here clear as day in this video. As you can see, I was dragging my nice big pile of snow. I was accelerating at the same time. I turned my PTO on and clogged the chute right up, clogged the fan up. And I didn't just clog it once, I had to unclog it twice. So that was an extreme clog. And it does happen to a lot of people out in the field operating because they think that they could just hit the accelerator and the throttle at the same time as they could turn their PTO on with a big load of snow. And that's always gonna result in clogging. So guys, take your time. Did you see how long that took me? That took me about, I'd say about 10-12 minutes to clean my fan out and my chute out twice, which is no fun. And it's mild out right now, okay? If it's a freezing cold day, it's -20, and you clog your blower up like I just did, I promise you, you're gonna wanna go home for today because it is absolutely hell. So just please hear me out. Take your time, be slow. It does a cleaner job anyways. The customers appreciate it more. Don't rush the job. If you have a big pile of snow, make sure you reverse a little bit, turn your PTO on and ease into the pile of snow. Don't go full throttle into it, okay? Don't make the same mistake I did, guys. Please hear me out as I'm saving you a lot of time, headache, grief, and bleeding of your hands, I promise. Anyways, guys, that's my quick little training tutorial for everybody here watching. Stefano from Northern Snow. I went through how to change your PTO pin, how to change your blower pin, and also how to unclog your chute and your fan on this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate you all, and I hope this will help some of your operators in your business. Thank you so much. I'll catch you on the next one. Love you guys. Peace.